Welcome into STB Sports Takes, simply the best sports podcast. I am your host, Sean Bingham. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. It's a Tuesday. It's a blessed Tuesday. It's an amazing Tuesday. It is a Tuesday in which the World Series Game 3 started on Monday, pretty early on Monday, like 5 o'clock Pacific, and lasted all the way until Tuesday. So, amazing game last night. The longest game in World Series history, tying the 2018 Game 3, also featured the Dodgers. 18 innings. That is 2 complete games back-to-back as one game. Talk about the price of admission. 18 innings. The Dodgers get the win just like they did in 2018. That time was a walk-off home run by Max Muncy. This time was a walk-off home run by Freddie Freeman. Both in the bottom of the 18th inning at home in Los Angeles. 2018 against the Red Sox. Last night, of course, against the Blue Jays. But what an incredible game. You just knew that it was going to end in a walk-off. I was sitting there just watching deep into the night. It's almost 1 a.m. here in Utah. And I just knew for certain this will end in a walk-off. This will not end with the Blue Jays scoring a run in the top of an inning and then the Dodgers unable to match it or beat it in the bottom of the inning. You just knew it was going to end with a walk-off home run. The pitching, I mean, talk about going deep into your bullpen. You're doing 2 complete games in one game. So the pitching just has to eventually suffer. You get to the bottom of the barrel with your bullpen, and you're just hoping guys can get through an inning or get through a couple batters. And sure enough, it did end in a walk-off home run. These are the things that people dream of their entire lives. For Freddie Freeman to get that moment, a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 18th inning in the World Series, that is all-time stuff. This was an all-time epic game. Absolutely incredible. And the thing we got to talk about the most is Shohei Ohtani. This guy is the greatest talent in the history of Major League Baseball. I'm not saying he's the GOAT yet, but he is well on his way. He went 4 for 4 last night with 2 home runs, and then they said, you know what? We're not pitching to him anymore. So they walked him intentionally 4 straight times and then walked him a 5th time. Not so intentional. They threw at him. They threw to him, but it was all junk. It was 4 straight balls. So he was walked 5 times, hit 4 for 4, 9 for 9 reaching base, a Major League Baseball record, a World Series record, a postseason record. This guy is absolutely incredible. And all of this on top of the fact that he pitches tonight in Game 4. This is unprecedented territory. Nobody in the history of Major League Baseball, not Babe Ruth, not anybody, has had this level of talent. If Shohei Ohtani can keep this up, if he wins tonight, think about that. If he gets the win tonight as a pitcher and they go on to win the World Series, he'll for sure be the MVP. He'll have a World Series title, a World Series MVP, to go with the home run hitting, the strikeout pitching. This guy is unbelievable, well on his way to being the GOAT of baseball. In Shohei Ohtani's last 7 at-bats, again, walks don't count as an at-bat, his last 7 at-bats at Dodger Stadium, he has 5 home runs and 2 doubles. He is 7 for 7 with 5 home runs and 2 doubles in his last 7 at-bats at Dodger Stadium. This guy is unbelievable, and he'll pitch tonight. So you got to kind of be rooting for Shohei Ohtani. This is historic stuff. I definitely want a close series. I'd like to see this go 7 games because it's just that much more fun. But man, is Ohtani putting on a show. The Blue Jays are right there, though. I mean, they said it after the game. Dave Roberts said it himself after the game, Dodgers manager. These are the 2 best teams in baseball battling it out, and they split the first 2 games in Toronto. The first game in LA goes 18 innings. This is an absolute epic World Series, one for the books. Last night was one of the greatest games in the history of Major League Baseball. Tonight should be amazing as well, with a guy who just reached base 9 for 9 times with 2 home runs, 4 for 4 in his at-bats, and then 5 walks. He is pitching tonight. After going past midnight last night, playing an 18-inning game, he's going to pitch tonight. I can't wait to watch it. To the NFL we go. We're going to go immediately to the STB Sports Take NFL Power Rankings. We have a team that dropped out of the Power Rankings. We have a team that moved in, of course. Some have moved up, some have moved down. But we'll start with the team who dropped out. That is the San Francisco 49ers. I had them all the way up at 5 last week. This week, I just look at it deeper. I see what they did this week, and I think, you know what? There are 10 teams better than them right now. So starting with number 10, I have the Los Angeles Rams. Down 3 spots from last week. I get it. They had a bye. They didn't even play. That seems like too much of a punishment. Again, I'm just looking at what I see, and as I re-rank them, as I look at what I've just seen this week and and the body of work for the season, I see the Rams as now currently the 10th best team, in my opinion, moving forward. The Bucks at number 9, they also dropped 3 spots. They won, but they beat the lowly Saints. They're banged up a little bit. They're dealing with injuries. Some of them are pretty critical injuries to wide receivers like Mike Evans. And so I just moved the Bucks down a little bit. They're still doing well. Again, they're 6-2. Baker Mayfield's not playing as well, had a pretty mediocre game against the Saints. The Saints are the worst team in the league, so the Bucks moved down a couple spots, but still in the top 10. Moving up as a new addition, they were an honorable mention last week. They are now in the top 10 power rankings. That is the Denver Broncos. They are balling out. That offense is clicking, and their defense is one of the very best in the league, racking up sacks. They have a great kicker. They just have it in all 3 phases. And their second-year quarterback, Bo Nix, is showing that he can get it done. So I have the Broncos moving up from honorable mention all the way to number 8. At number 7, the Buffalo Bills. They moved up 2 spots. I said that the Bills didn't look like the Bills of old, and then this week they did again look like the Bills of old. So they're still solid. You've got Josh Allen, one of the best players in the league. I just see the Bills. I'm still not seeing them as the Bills of old. The Bills of old would be like number 2 or 3. These Bills I've got at number 7. We'll see what they can do, but they definitely got back on track this week. At number 6, the Patriots. Drake May, they are proving me wrong. I did not think the Patriots would be that good this year, but Mike Vrabel at head coach, Drake May coming into his own, proving to be a very solid franchise quarterback. I really like what I'm seeing out of the Patriots. They're doing well. They got another win, so I've got them at number 6. At number 5, moving up, the biggest increase was this team, the Green Bay Packers. They were down at 10. I moved them all the way up to 5 after watching them this week. They're just looking very, very good. They've only got 1 loss. They do have the tie to the Cowboys, but that was a shootout. The Cowboys offense is pretty solid. So that was just a big shootout, and that's their tie. So they actually have the fewest losses in the entire league, equal with the Colts, but only behind them in winning percentage because of that tie. Jordan Love can ball out. He's a little bit streaky, a little bit inconsistent, but overall this Packers team is really solid. I've got them at number 5. At number 4, the Eagles. I moved them down a spot, not because they did anything bad, but because the team above them that I bumped up is proving me wrong and moving up the ladder bit by bit. And that brings me to that number 3 team, which is the Indianapolis Colts. They just keep doing it. I still don't think this team will win the Super Bowl. I don't even think they'll get to the AFC Championship game. But right here, right now, they're doing it. 7-1. They keep winning. They've got the best player in the league in Jonathan Taylor. They've got a quarterback that's just shutting up all the critics in Daniel Jones, and they are just coming together as a team and playing tremendously well. So I've got the Colts at number 3. At number 2, they did not play this week. That's the Detroit Lions. I don't see any reason to move anyone above them or to bump them down or to bump them up. So I'm just going to keep them at number 2. And at number 1, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They just beat up. I had them at number 1 last week. I'm keeping them there. They just beat up on my Washington Commanders. Commanders didn't have Jaden Daniels. He is critical to that offense. I think the Commanders have a chance to still get back on track, but right now they're not looking good, and the Chiefs are rolling. The Chiefs are looking really, really good. They're 3-time Super Bowl champs, all pretty recent. They were in the Super Bowl last year, losing to the Eagles. This, to me, though, is the best team in the league. They still have the best coach, best quarterback. Travis Kelce looked amazing last night. It was the Travis Kelce of old. Now with 2 solid threats at wideout in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, Mahomes has weapons. This team, to me, is still the most scary come playoff time. So despite the 3 losses, I'm keeping the Chiefs at number 1 on the power rankings. That is the STB Sports Take NFL Power Rankings. To the NBA we go. I told you Luka was going to be on a revenge season, an MVP season. And look at this. Luka Doncic has more points and assists than Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson combined. Now, this is just through the first 2 games of the season, but he was on an absolute tear. Still is. He's going to sit out a couple of games with an injury, a very minor injury. He'll be back. It'll be fine. But Luka Doncic off to an incredible start and making that trade look even sillier than ever. Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg are essentially what they ended up getting for Luka Doncic. More points and assists than those 2 combined, even with the addition of Klay Thompson. Speaking of the MVP ladder and my predictions, my number 2 guy was Wemby. And look at this. Wemby, 100 points, 40 rebounds, 18 blocks in his first 3 games of the season. All Spurs wins, by the way. This is unbelievable. That's 33.3 points per game, 13.3 rebounds per game, and 6 blocks per game. And he's done it for 3 straight games. Wemby is on a tear. If he can stay healthy, he has insane potential. The ceiling is sky high for this guy. I mean, look at this sequence alone. He gets a blocked shot. They get it back. He gets another blocked shot. Then they end up getting the rebound, which he didn't get the rebound, but he should have. He brings it up the court. They pass it to him to bring up the court, and he shoots it from basically the logo and drills it. In one sequence, he gets 2 blocked shots and then a pull-up 3 from the logo. And this is a guy that's like 7'4", 7'5", and he's doing this. He's dribbling the ball up the court and shooting it from basically half court. Can you imagine Manute Bull or like Mark Eaton or even Hakeem Olajuwon or Shaquille O'Neal or David Robinson or any of these old, more kind of traditional centers doing this? Nobody does this, especially not at his height. If he can stay healthy, which I think will be his biggest struggle in his career, is to stay healthy. He's really lean, and he's just so big and long, and it just feels like those types of players just battle injuries more. I hope that he doesn't, because he's incredible to watch. He's an incredible player. But Wemby just on an absolute tear. Sticking in the NBA, look at this. I talked about the highest paid players in the history of the league last podcast. Kevin Durant, of course, now the highest paid, then LeBron, Steph. But these are the highest paid players by season over the last, I don't know, however many that years is, 25 years it looks like. So over the last 25 seasons, look at that. Garnett with a bunch, then 2 Shaq, then back to Garnett for 3 more, then Kobe for 6 or 7 straight, then LeBron just for 1, and then Curry for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So LeBron has only been the highest paid player in the league one time in the last 25 seasons, which obviously includes his entire career. So LeBron's entire career, he's only been the highest paid player one season. Yet he's the second highest paid player in the history of the league, but he's only been the highest paid player in the league once, and that was with the Cavs, his first season with the Cavs. Curry 8 times, Garnett 7 times, Kobe 7 times. Those guys dominating. Just an interesting thing to look at here. Speaking of LeBron, Klutch Sports not looking good here. Chauncey Billups was, of course, in custody in Portland for the gambling fraud he's been accused of. He'll have his day in court, but he walks out of custody at the police station wearing a Klutch Sports hoodie. Not the best look for Klutch Sports and LeBron James. I'm not saying they had anything to do with this, but you got to think they were thinking to themselves, take that hoodie off in this situation. We do not need you repping our brand as you walk out of the police house, the courthouse, whatever this is, where he's released from custody and all these reporters surrounding him. And there's these heavy, heavy allegations with apparently a lot of evidence showing that he was involved in a lot of illegal gambling, fraudulent activity. Bad look for Klutch Sports, bad look for Chauncey Billups. They, of course, are saying they look forward to their day in court. Of course, who doesn't? They're denying everything. Whether or not it's true, we'll soon find out, but it's not looking good. To college football we go. BYU off to a historic season, 8-0 for the second season in a row. Just beat a very good 5-2 Iowa State team by 14 points on the road, with Iowa State coming off of a bye. So voters can downplay it. Utah fans can downplay it. Whoever wants to downplay it can, but the fact of the matter is BYU is rolling. A 14-point win on the road with the team coming off of a bye, while you just had a very hotly contested rivalry game 6 or 7 days earlier. You're going up a team at their place, coming off of a bye, 5-2, and you beat them by 14 points. This is a solid BYU team, very deserving of the now 10th rank that they have, tied, of course, with Miami, but they move up despite nobody in front of them losing. BYU moves up from 11th to at least tied for 10th. Very solid BYU team. Again, Iowa State 9-2 in their last 11 home games. 9-2 in their last 11 home games coming into this game against BYU. Now 9-3 because BYU handed them that L. That's 2 weeks in a row that BYU has made the odds makers look absolutely stupid, like they don't know what they're talking about. They had Utah favored against BYU, BYU shut them up. They had Iowa State favored against BYU, BYU shut them up. True freshman quarterback Bear Bachmeier leads the country in games with a passing and a rushing touchdown with 6. 6 of the 8 games, this kid has had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. This is the whole list of freshman QBs to start 8-0. Jalen Hurts, now an NFL Super Bowl champ. Trevor Lawrence, first round, number 1 overall pick, national champ. And Bear Bachmeier. That's the list in the history of college football for true freshman quarterbacks to start 8-0. Last story to college football, LSU coach Brian Kelly is being fired. Going to have a massive buyout, $53.8 million buyout. They're paying him $54 million to just get out of town. It's the second biggest buyout in the history of college football. The third biggest just happened a couple weeks ago. James Franklin in Penn State. The biggest, of course, being Jimbo Fisher, $77 million to get out of town. This shows just how much money there is in college football. These are professional athletes. Pay them as much as you can pay them, because look at what their coaches are getting. Look at what their schools are willing to pay just to get rid of coaches to bring somebody else in. There is so much money in college football, college athletics in general, but especially college football. $76.8 million to get rid of a guy, $53.8 million to get rid of a guy, $49 million to get rid of a guy. Massive amounts of money are pouring into college athletics. There needs to be some sort of regulation, just organization. I want guys to get every penny they can, but we need a little bit of organization around it, some regulations to kind of level the playing field as much as we can, because look at what it does when you level the playing field. Brian Kelly, when all these blue bloods, when all these big LSUs, Penn States, Alabamas, Clemsons, before NIL, they were getting all the best recruits and winning all the titles. But now that NIL is here, look at this. We have Vanderbilt just dominating the SEC right now. We have teams like BYU, 8-0 and in the top 10. And on the flip side, you have teams like Penn State and LSU losing games, firing coaches. Things have changed dramatically in college athletics, and it's very, very fun to watch. It's making it more enjoyable for me. I'm a big fan of NIL. I do think it needs a little bit of like some organization and some regulations to just make it a little bit cleaner and simpler. But I want guys to get paid. They should get paid. If they've got $50, $60, $70 million to pay coaches to leave, then they clearly have money to pay the players. And it shouldn't have to all come from these boosters. The schools should be paying their players even more. Back to the NFL we go. The Packers, I mentioned, moved way up the power rankings because of a road win against the Steelers and all the stuff they've done this season. But Aaron Rodgers had a chance for history. He's beaten 31 of 32 teams. The last team he has not beaten is, of course, his very own Green Bay Packers. Had a chance, got off to a pretty good start in that game, did not pull through in the end. The Steelers take the L at home, and things are starting to look downhill for the Steelers. I predicted they would miss the playoffs. I predicted they would have a losing record, and they started out hot, but it's already shifting for them. Their schedule only gets harder from here. I still think there's a very good chance that you see the Pittsburgh Steelers end the season at 8-9. Got to mention Myles Garrett. This guy had 5 sacks. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacks in one game. And his team lost by 19 points. That's unbelievable. He's the first player in NFL history to have 5 sacks in a game and not win or at least lose by only 3 or fewer points. He lost by 19. The Browns are awful. Now, he showed his frustration on the sideline. You can see it here. He's not happy. He's slamming his helmet. He's disgusted. Here's the thing, though. I don't feel bad for Myles Garrett. He had a chance to leave Cleveland. He knew what they were. And he chose the money, and I don't blame him. It's a career, it's a business, it's his future. Secure that bag, but don't feel sorry for the guy. The guy had a chance to leave Cleveland. He chose to stay because of the massive paycheck they offered him, and he's collecting that. He's getting his money. His team sucks. He knew they sucked. He chose to stay. It is what it is. Time now for the STB Sports Take NFL MVP ladder. Number 5, we have Jahmyr Gibbs. That's right where he was last week. He's staying there. He's the best player on that Lions team. They had to bye this week. We'll keep Jahmyr Gibbs at number 5. At number 4, we have a new person, a new candidate. Replacing Baker Mayfield, we have Drake May. Leading the New England Patriots, this guy has the 2nd highest passer rating in the league, the 4th highest QBR in the league, and his team is 6-2. Drake May is balling out. He's the quarterback for one of the best teams in the league right now. His stats are backing it all up as well. Drake May at number 4. Baker Mayfield's out after 2 subpar performances. At number 3, Daniel Jones, quarterback of the best team in the league, team with the best record. Again, his stats are there. They are what they need to be. I'm keeping Daniel Jones at number 3. At number 2, I bumped Patrick Mahomes down from 1 to number 2. He's still playing great, but number 1 is Jonathan Taylor. This guy is the best player in the league this year, without question. Touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. This guy, 3 touchdowns this week, 3 more. 3 more touchdowns this week, 153 yards rushing on just 12 carries. Had a couple of catches for some yards and a touchdown as well. He leads the league in rushing, and he has 0 fumbles. 0 fumbles on the season. Not fumbles lost, fumbles at all. He's getting the ball time after time after time after time, catching, rushing, no fumbles. So ball security is as good as it can get. He leads the league in rushing. He leads the league in touchdowns, and his team leads the league in the standings. This guy is the real deal, Holyfield. Jonathan Taylor, keep it up, and you might just break the streak of quarterbacks winning the MVP and get it yourself as a running back. That is all the time we have for today. This is STB Sports Take. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, everywhere. We are out. Peace.